Yo, a lot of people think that the Flipper 1 is just a more powerful Flipper 0. Like they took the same device, upgraded the chip, added new radios, and called it a sequel. But the documentation just went public, and what's actually inside this thing tells a completely different story. The Flipper 1 is not a Flipper 0 2.0, it's a pocket Linux computer. And once you see the full spec sheet, it changes everything about how you should be thinking about this device. Now, I'm Jay Blanks, and I've been tracking Flipper 1 development for months, digging through firmware repos, following prototype leaks, watching every hint Flipper devices dropped. Today, the docs are officially public, and we're going through everything: the dual processors, the missing radios, the M.2 slot, the ports, and what all of it actually means for the Flipper 0 community. Now, before we get into it, the documentation itself says these specs are subject to change since the device is still under active development. So everything we cover today is accurate as of right now, but some details may shift before the final hardware ships. The goal here, as always, is to understand what this technology is actually built for, not to speculate, not to hype, just to read what's actually in the docs. Now, here's where things get really interesting. The Flipper 1 runs two processors simultaneously. The main chip is the Rockchip RK3576. It has 8 cores, 4 high-performance ARM Cortex-A72 cores, and 4 efficiency ARM 53 cores clocked up to 2 GHz. It's also got an ARM Mali 652 GPU with full Vulkan 1.2 support, and there's a built-in NPU running at 6 TOPS. That means on-device AI inference locally in your pocket. Now, running alongside that is the RP2350, one of my favorite chips, and this is the same Raspberry Pi microcontroller used in the Pico 2. The RP2350 handles all the low-level duties: the display, the physical buttons, the LEDs, the haptic feedback. It's always on, always responsive, even when the Linux side is busy. Think of it like a laptop. There's the main OS doing heavy lifting and a separate embedded controller managing the keyboard and power button. That's basically what's happening here. And backing all of this up is 8 GB of LPDDR5 RAM and 64 GB of UFS 2.2 internal storage. For context, that's more RAM than most entry-level laptops. So it's not a microcontroller toy, this is a real computing device. Now, this is the part that's going to catch people off guard, and it's the most important thing to understand about the Flipper 1. The sub-GHz radio is gone. No RFID, no NFC, no infrared. The things that made the Flipper 0 famous and controversial are not built into the Flipper 1. And if you dive into the firmware, there are 0 drivers and 0 kernel support for any of these protocols. They just aren't there. Now, before you close the video, this is not a downgrade. It's a deliberate design decision. Because instead of hard coding those radios in, they built an M.2 expansion slot. The Flipper 0 pretty much was a fixed toolkit. The Flipper 1 is a platform. These two devices are designed to coexist, not replace each other. Now, if you're enjoying this breakdown, make sure to give this video a like and subscribe. I regularly post Flipper 0 and Flipper 1 content, and you don't want to miss what's coming next. Now, here's the part I think is actually the headline of the Flipper 1, the M.2 Key-B expansion slot on the back. The slot supports PCIe 2.1 and USB 3.1. Now, it's typed as wireless wide area network in the firmware, which means the primary use case Flipper devices has in mind here is cellular modems like LTE and 5G. So here's where it opens up. M.2 Key-B is the same form factor used by Wi-Fi cards and SATA SSDs. So if the community builds a sub-GHz module in M.2 form factor, which knowing this community is a matter of time, you just slot it in the back. Same for a custom SDR card, same for a dedicated NFC reader. The Flipper Zero has its radios baked in. The Flipper One lets you choose, and that distinction is massive. Now let's talk ports, because for a device this size, the connectivity list is wild. There are 2 USB-C ports. One does USB 3.1, there's a display port 1.4 alt mode, and USB power delivery for charging. The other is USB 3.1, host only with power out. There's a USB-A port, as we saw up top. There's full-size HDMI 2.1 that supports 4K at 120 Hz, 2 Gigabit Ethernet ports via RJ45, a 3.5mm audio jack, Wi-Fi 6 across 2.4, 5, and 6 GHz. There's also Bluetooth 5.2 and a SIM card slot connected passively to the M.2 port. Now, this thing can plug into a monitor and function as a full Linux desktop. That's a pretty legitimate use case. Now on the physical side, let's talk about size and weights. It's 155mm by 67mm, about 40mm thick. That means it's wider than a Flipper Zero and about twice as deep. The display is 256 by 144 monochrome, but it has 64 levels of grayscale, unlike the Flipper Zero. That means we finally aren't just stuck with pure black and pure orange. And there's also a capacitive touchpad with haptic feedback, 5 app buttons below the screen, a full directional pad, a power button, a back button, and a push to talk button. And the body is PC ABS plastic. The heatsink, the bracelet, and the lanyard loop are anodized aluminum, and the screen is Gorilla Glass. The battery is listed at 7,000 milliamps. The docs say that the number isn't final yet, but there's a power bank mode built in so you can charge other devices off it when the unit is powered off. So here's the bigger picture. The Flipper Zero isn't going anywhere. It's still the best NFC, RFID, sub-GHz, IR, multi-tool you can carry around. The Flipper One doesn't replace it. It runs Linux and it expands. These are 2 completely different tools built for 2 completely different use cases. What the Flipper One does is hand the community a proper computing platform, rural software, on-device AI, cellular connectivity for remote work, a desktop environment when you need it, and a modular radio expansion through M.2. The same community that turned the Flipper Zero into something nobody expected now have a full Linux environment and an expansion slot plus 2 Ethernet ports to work with. Now, the Flipper One documentation is live right now at docs.flipper.net. I'll link it in the description below. Full tech specs, GPIO pinouts, the M.2 slot, everything is there, so go read it. Now, which part of the Flipper One are you most excited for? The M.2 expansion, the Linux desktop capability? Definitely let me know down in the comments below. I'm Jay Blanked. Thanks for watching. Peace.